All right, good afternoon. This is Rebecca, your favorite interior designer with Revision Custom Design. Today's video might be a little bit short because I'm not really doing a ton. I'm just making a quick edit on a previous plan using Chief Architect. Here on my YouTube channel, I haven't really shown much with Chief Architect yet, but this is the primary software that I use when I'm drafting floor plans for either new construction, remodels, even for furniture layouts. Quite often, I'll come into Chief Architect first just because for me, that's the one that I'm the most used to. It's the one I'm the quickest on. Um, so it really is a good, versatile, all around 2D and 3D drafting program. So what I'm doing here, and this is just a really simple edit that I'm doing. This is a house plan that I had worked on for a client. So I'll zoom out here so you can see the whole house. We've got uh, basically it's main floor living. There's a small staircase going up to a bonus room over the garage, but other than that, it's essentially main floor living. There's not even a basement. This is just on a crawl space foundation. And we've just been kind of going back and forth on this front powder room and trying to get the most storage possible. So, the most recent version that I had this powder room set up so that it was adjacent to the family room here, kind of close to the master, but had some linen storage in the corner here, in addition to a vanity cabinet. And the clients were kind of going back and forth because a previous version I had of this had um, more of a closet here, and the entrance to this powder room was actually off of this little front hallway. So hang on one second. Thought I printed it out. All right, so I'm actually going to open up this other version, the original version of the plan, because I'm basically going to be using this one. So here, right here, this is what it was originally. But I want to make sure to kind of transport this back into the other file, because the other file is the one we're working out of and the one that all of my uh, layouts and stuff are attached to. So anyway, so this is what that was originally. It was a little bit of a smaller powder room, like I said, accessed from that front hall. And then there was a little closet over here. So instead of having linen storage in the powder room, there was just a secondary closet uh, off of that master bedroom. So sheets, blankets, whatever could be out there in the hallway. So basically, I'm going to be copying this onto that other version of the plan. Really quick, I'm going to go in here using my dimension tool. Just double check a few of these dimensions and make sure that I'm copying basically samesies. Okay, so I'm going to hop on over here. I'm going to get rid of this linen closet because we don't need that. And this little filler panel and these upper shelves. Pull out that base cabinet. Don't need that mirror, and temporarily I don't need that light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this vanity cabinet. I'm going to rotate the toilet. Nestle it back there in its little opening. I'm going to change this door other direction. If I click back over to my other plan, I can see that this is, I click on the door here, is a 48-inch wide double door, which means each panel is, of course, 2 foot. This, go in here, change that to 48. You'll see how that changes the door to a double door from a single door. The default for this program, basically because anything other than 3 feet is custom. Anything over a 3-foot door is going to switch from a single panel to a double door. Now, obviously, there's ways around this in real life, but typically that means ordering or having something custom fabricated. Um, if you're buying something stock, 3 foot is essentially the largest it gets before it becomes a double door option. So the computer knows that and shows it accordingly. So I'm kind of recenter that sort of within that opening, and I'm going to pull the door swing shut. Now on closet doors, I generally tend to do that because they're not open often enough or left open to be a hindrance on the walkway. Whereas, say this one right here, this door to the bedroom, depending on the family's personality, that could be a door that's left open all the time. So I want to make sure I always show that open so that people know, hey, you can't put furniture there. It's, something that definitely has to be kept clear at all times. Whereas the closet door is a little bit less important. Okay, so move my name for the powder room down here before I do anything to get stuck. Push my vanity out. Do an interior wall to divide up the space. Then for closets, oops, first I need to get rid of that name. For closets, I generally do 2 feet 1 deep. As I've mentioned before, this particular program using this interior dimension tool, it measures framing to framing, not drywall to drywall. So you have to add that extra 1 inch so that it's framed properly, and then that drywall comes in because you still need that 2 foot of interior depth. Okay, so there, and now I can delete that dimension line because I don't need that. I've got this little ante room. Got that, so I'm going to slide that on back. And then, obviously, I need a door. Copy this door. And I definitely want my swing to be the direction it just shows. And the biggest reason for that is sight lines. Nobody wants to walk in the front door of a house. See how close this is. If you were to walk in the front door of this house and that door swing to the left instead of to the right, if that door was left open, every person that walked in the front door would see that toilet. And so we definitely don't want that. In a powder room, you can very easily have the door swing open. There's plenty of space to still enter the room, close that door comfortably, and then that way it's not an issue. So even if you were to leave this door open, you're not going to have that sight line, the toilet. And now really the only other thing I need to do is a base cabinet. So right now that is 18 inches wide, which is good. And here in the middle is, now that one's showing 33. I can go as small as 27. And then copy and paste my other 18-inch cabinet. And there you go. So now you've got 2 drawer units on either side, and then the center unit in the middle as your little powder room. So you've got plenty of space, got all your clearances. Hop back over here to this. That lines up. Now you'll notice there is a small difference here where originally this closet was a little bit smaller, which meant that this door would be further over and the toilet was recessed. But I think I'm going to leave it like this. I think we like how we added some space to the closet here. We don't really need any more space in this powder room. And even this little hallway ante room doesn't need any more space. It's essentially just a little nook off the entryway. It defines the space, so you're not just stepping right into the powder room. You've got a little bit of separation with that frame doorway. You can easily access both of your rooms, and then you've got powder room. So that's pretty much the only change I needed to make here. So I am going to really quick mirror back above that sink. And for the purpose of construction documents, I don't necessarily need that mirror there, but I do always do an elevation view of each bathroom and cabinetry, so that way the client has an image of what that wall looks like, so that when they go to their kitchen and bath vendor, cabinetry vendor, they know what the dimensions are that they're working with and what was planned out for that wall. Got my mirror, and now I need a vanity light. Ugly, but serves the purpose. Okay. Now that I've done that, I can close out this other plan. I do not need to keep this open. And then I am going to open up the layout. Okay. Now you'll notice when I zoom in here, this is already automatically updated this section of the plan. My doors are there because those files are linked. So that's why I wanted to move other plan, or the dimensions and stuff from the other plan. I wanted to update this version because this is what we're currently using as our master document for this project. And then the only other thing I need to do real quick is, let me see if I did this on. Got my exterior elevation. Okay, so now here, this was the old powder room elevation. Now that one did not automatically update because it doesn't. Elevations you have to manually update, either by right-clicking and hitting refresh. Although since we changed the parameters of that room, I don't know that would have automatically refreshed anyway. So I'm going to go up here to my elevation tool. I'm just doing a wall elevation, not a full-on house cross section. So it's only going to grab this one room. Oh, and I don't like that little hint of the toilet there, so I'm going to back up and I'm going to make sure my camera doesn't catch the toilet. Okay? There we go. So now you can see essentially what I've got now. Obviously, the vanity lights in the mirror are a little bit wonky, so I'm going to quick change that. Drop my mirror down. Lift my vanity lights up. Make this mirror just a little bit tall. There we go. Weird look on my face was good. And I am going to make this mirror basically as wide as the space. Now it is a framed mirror just because it looks nice. The elevation, the client may choose to do a frameless, but this way they can see what they have the space for. So that is the updated elevation. The other thing I'm going to do, as I was mentioning, drawer storage. In a bathroom in particular, drawer storage is way more functional and useful than not. So I'm going to update this. I'm not going to do default. I'm going to customize the space. I don't want a door here. I want to do a drawer. And I don't need it to be the full dimensions. Now, for some reason, it always grabs that top drawer. No, I want the top. This one. This one needs to be 5. And when I do that, so I've already given it a drawer, and then I've gone and made this top one 5. Now it gives me this blank space in the middle. I need to go in and give that the dimensions I want. And call it a drawer. Don't need a blank area. Okay, so there we go. So now, and those 2 dimensions that I'm giving those drawers, the 11 inches, that part doesn't really matter so much because the individual cabinet vendors have their standards for what a 3-drawer base unit looks like. But what it does is it just gives it that look that it's supposed to have. I'm a little off. I see there's a little bit of a gap there. Back here and just double check. I don't want this. Okay, so I'm off by 1/2 inch. Delete that. And there we go. Yeah. Yep, so there we go. So now that's updated. There's no gaps. I'm going to actually delete this cabinet. Copy, paste. There we go. So now you can see what that wall elevation looks like. So you've got the door units underneath the sink, and that's standard because you need to have that access in case you ever have plumbing issues to be able to get to the pipes that are underneath the sink. That this drawer face right here is almost always a false front, just to create a uniform look across so that everything looks the same. And then you've got the 2 drawer units on either side, which are going to give you the most storage in a bathroom. If you know, bathrooms are a horrible spot to have a door where you have to bend down, reach in, get all your stuff. The drawers give you much more usable space. So that's our elevation. And now I need to send this to the layout. And my elevations I typically do in 1/2 inch scale. So let me make sure I did that. Oh, there we go. And it popped up here in the middle. Over. Down. A little too far. Oh. All right. And I need to line it up with my marker. There we go. For some reason that line on the edge is not catching. Use my CAD tool to frame out that wall elevation. All right. Now that is my wall elevation there. I've corrected it. And then 307. And it's showing up on my door schedule, which is awesome. And it says I have 2 of them. Back to my plan, I can just double check and kind of peek around. Quite a few of them. Mm-hmm. 4. So okay. Now I should be able to Oh, wait, here we go. Oh, here we go. That number right there. Aha, quantity 5. Yep, so that's correct. All right, so that's pretty much all I needed to do there. I can go ahead and close out of that. Yes, I want to save my camera view. My layout is looking good. My door schedule updated. I've updated my elevation and my working plan view. I'll go ahead and hit save on this. Also going to hit save on layout here. And then I will be able to send this on over to the client. So that is how I make those quick little changes. I love Chief Architect because it really is a very easy to use tool. If you have to make those quick changes, you can go back and forth between the plans. It's so easy to move walls around. You're not having to delete 37 lines. You can just say, hey, I need to move a wall. I'm going to use the wall tool, draw it in, and get those layouts done quickly. Now I can send that back over to the builder and say, hey, here's the small update that we made. We still haven't broken ground on this, so we're still in the planning phases. So thankfully, like I always tell my clients, it is always cheaper to change those things on paper before you break ground. So that's why the design process sometimes takes a little while. You want to make sure that you've really thought through all of the things that you need to think through. How are you going to use the space? How does it make the most sense? So take those plans, look at them, take your time with them, and really think about how this is going to fit you and your family before you then jump to the next step of actually breaking ground. So thank you so much for tuning in. I know this was a short video, but hopefully you got something out of it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, comment, share, tell your friends about me, and come on back because I try to stream just about every day. So have a wonderful night.